Welcome, folks, to Dice or Death. It's Friday. That means we're talking about some Legend of the Five Rings. And so tonight we're going to be covering 2 league games. This is going to be this is for the New England Discord League. It's totally awesome, run by the folks who run the New England Discord, sort of, and their podcast. It's messy, but it's awesome. And I'm going to be playing against Drew, who is a Lion player from the area. I'm obviously playing Phoenix, as I always do, and so I've brought in tonight somebody to give us some extra strategic commentary, some words of wisdom. I've brought in Mike from NEL5R. Mike, welcome to the stream. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man.
And I don't know how much commentary I'll be able to give. Very strategic mind. I play from the hip.
You're saying that, but at the same time, you told me that you took notes on this game, so that makes me a little nervous as well. All right, so I'm gonna get this playing here. Good to got. So the way we do these games, for folks who aren't familiar, is there's 2 games, and you basically alternate being first player. I won the role here, and this is our first game, so I get to be first player. Very exciting. And Drew is on, he's on YNS because he wants to win. Is my mic around and willing to play? Do you mean is my wife around willing to play? Mike is not my wife. She was actually just playing a game on Jigoku, so if you hit her up on Discord, you should probably be able to get a game in with her.
Okay, so pause here.
Yeah, so let's take a look at the flop in the hand here.
Okay. So, Yojimbo, Palace, Storehouse, and Kudaka. What do you mull here?
I think just the Storehouse.
You mull everything but Palace and Store. You actually keep Palace and Storehouse. Card advantage, so Phoenix can play long game very well because it's all about outvaluing. Unless Drew flops a Rhino, he's not going to get 2 breaks against you on turn 1.
Because his pole break is basically useless, is what you're saying. Or his pole attack.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And he's on Keeper of Earth, so there are going to be 2 things that paying attention to rules is kind of a huge thing in this game, especially for Lion, because Lions basically has 2 splashes available. It's Unicorn and potentially Crane. You're going to see the Crane splash more with the Seeker of Air roll, just to get access to Soul Beyond Reproach.
Okay.
If you see Keeper of Earth, they're going to be on Unicorn splash. And then if you see Support of the Unicorn, obviously they're on Unicorn, and Support of the Scorpion, they're on Support of the Scorpion. Those are basically Lion's available splashes. So Keeper of Earth, he's on Unicorn splash, and that doesn't give enough influence for Talisman, or for Captive.
Okay.
So you don't have to worry about Captive. So you can slow play this a little better and try to get a better flop going.
Do Lions typically run Talisman and Keeper?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the only reason to play Keeper is to run Talisman.
Okay.
But but your let goes are basically only going to be for Talismans in this matchup.
Yeah. And then I'm mulligan a Talisman here, or not a Talisman, a let go, because I'm like, he doesn't have that many important attachments.
You don't need this early. That's a fine Dynasty mulligan.
Yeah, I guess Talisman is more painful if they drop it at the end of the game than at the beginning.
Yep. So this is his flop, and this is your flop. So you're going first, and I strongly don't like the Yojimbo 3.
Okay, so let's go through that, because what I'm thinking here basically is I've got a clarity of purpose, so I can probably swing 2 out of this, or at least attack and then defend since I'm first player. And then I'll have Yojimbo around for a while because I'm not going to be facing any kill effects or anything like that.
Right. Drew is realistically probably going to go Obstinate Sonuri, just because that's all he has available.
Yeah.
So you're going to get Passing Fate no matter what. You could probably have gone Kadoka with 1, maybe 2, depending. What were you on, Tadaka or Embrace for this?
I'm 99% sure this is Embrace the Void.
Okay. So with Embrace, you could have realistically gone Kudoka with 3, completely drained out, and then gotten Passing Fate for 1 fate, and then that allows you to buy more turns, especially with the clarity, because that means you're going to get the 2 conflicts. Like, Lion's only going to break against you once. You can swing political clarity, try to get a break, or try to get a ring effect.
Yeah.
Like, I would take, like, Void off the table, just so, like, your guy can't get voided.
Sure.
And then, from there, just defend his military attack, because his pole attack is going to be nothing.
Okay.
So, and I think this really goes towards setting up your turn 2 and turn 3, which is hugely important for Phoenix. Like, Phoenix's turn 1 is really like where they establish the tempo. Like, right now, you're gonna get Passing Fate and you're gonna be at 2 fate. But if Drew just buys Obstinate and Sonuri, he's gonna be at 5 fate to your 2 fate.
Okay, interesting. So, what would you say is like your game plan? Like, what do you want to have accomplished by the end of your turn 1 as Phoenix?
By the end of my turn 1, I want to have banked as much fate as possible and have card advantage. Like, I want to have a bigger hand and I want to have more fate. Like, if I have a broken province, I think that's perfectly fine.
Okay.
And I would have wanted to at least flip 1 province just to see what's going on.
Sure, yeah.
Yep. So yeah, he buys the Sonuri. Like, buying the Sonuri with 1 is super disrespecting a 1x assassinate.
Yeah. I mean, Lion has so many, like, you know, you've got like a bunch of these little guys anyway, right? So.
Yep. I also wouldn't pop your storehouse this early.
No, why not?
So storehouses, we talk about it on NEL5R a lot. It's basically considered a soft pass action. Also, I would not play the pause right here real quick.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So storehouse is basically a soft pass. Like, if you're don't want to pass, but you also want to force your opponent to spend more cards, you can use the storehouse as like a soft pass.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Same with the Shrine Maiden. Like, playing the Shrine Maiden out beforehand telegraphs. Like, what purpose does this serve doing it pre-conflict?
I think I'm going to end up poking with it.
Okay. You could have poked with the political poked with the Yojimbo and Clarity.
Sure.
Like playing the Shrine Maiden just telegraphs the fact that you have now Embrace and Cloud. And once again, like, playing Shrine Maiden is a soft pass.
Interesting. Yeah, and I don't really need to worry about meditations with 3 fate on Yojimbo.
Yeah. And you're on Seeker of Void too, so like, if he runs into Shameful and like your Yojimbo's bowed from attack, like, you can't drop the Shrine Maiden in now to get value out of the Shameful.
Sure, yeah.
It's like, so it's those kind of like little micro decisions as you play through the game. And it also, like, it burns a fate when you don't need to burn a fate.
That's true. Yeah. Okay. I've gotten in this habit of doing Shrine Maidens to poke safely.
Yeah. No, it's fair to poke safely, but there's really nothing Line has in row that's dangerous. Like, with Keeper of Earth, he's not on upholding.
Why would you say that?
Because it's 5 province strength.
Oh, right. Wow, I always forget that that's a line of text on those cards.
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
I also would have dropped the Embrace the Void right off the bat on the Yojimbo, because that's going to be the best value target.
Well, I don't have a Shugenja right now, so I actually can't play Embrace the Void.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forget that's a line of text.
Yeah.
Going Void's fine here. I agree.
Okay.
Void. Running into meditations is fine. You want to scout that early. So that's perfectly fine. Taking Void off the table is big. Military is okay. Yep, because you want to force him to, like, defend militarily.
Hey, thanks for following. Sway is okay. You're okay with me.
That's Zach.
Thanks. You just doxed him, bro. Yeah, so I get a fade off. That's nice. I poke. Okay. Things are going okay here so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a perfectly fine early game.
So Drew's double swings at my palace and also finds meditations.
Mm-hmm. This is fine.
Yeah.
So here. So I think you're okay, honestly, here, letting this go. Yes, you're gonna break palace, but you can counter swing with the Yojimbo military and Bonsai.
Yeah, that would definitely be a stronger play, I think, than defending here. Because even if he breaks, then we just trade breaks, and that's fine.
Yep, exactly. So he drops the ambusher, activates the ambusher to prevent the meditations from peeling the fate off the ambusher, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, defending here it's not terrible, but it's also like, can you trade? Because like if he swings in with just the 4, he still has to play the ambusher. Or no, I guess he could box to. Because like right now he has Scenario online and he has box. So it's like, how far do you chase here? Because like if you play your Bonsai here, he's gonna match your Bonsai and go +2 just off Scenario and Yoga no Shiro. So you're gonna spend a card and he's not gonna have to.
Right.
To beat you. So this is what I talk about with like how you like to occasionally chase conflicts. So it spoils is fun.
Yeah, I can definitely see how. I mean, like if I haven't defended, right? He's at 6. He breaks it. And then I just attack now with my katana and my bonsai, and
exactly
that's a pretty strong attack.
And you can go for the water ring too to stand your Shrine Maiden if he's got another conflict coming to have a defender for that conflict.
True. And then that gives me a Fish Boy online if I feel like using that instead of bonsai.
Exactly. So, and you both basically break each other's palaces at that point, which then makes favor neutral.
Right.
So, like, also, this is what I was saying before. Like, why you're playing the Shrine Maiden? Like, yeah, you're getting 2 cards out of it, but what does this accomplish? Like, this is going to get you a ring effect.
Well, I'm thinking. I guess this is political. I don't really. I'm not going to put a fan on him. Yeah, I think it just gets me a ring effect. I honor Yojimbo off this, I think.
Yep, you do. Yeah, so you honor the Yojimbo, you get the ring effect, but you're basically paying 1 fate for the fire ring, which now keep in mind, like he can play a conflict character too, because Lion's on 10 conflict characters.
Right. So I think we do go fan. Yeah.
So, why you drop the fan on this guy?
Yeah.
Or he drops the fan on this guy. For 3-1. If you drop the fan, you're just tying.
Right. So now I'm spending a fate and a fan on honoring a character
just to get a fire ring effect.
Yeah.
Right. Now, if you had just passed through and saved the Shrine Maiden to block, he probably doesn't block that to get it off, or maybe he does, but then you're doing it on the defense as well, and then you can like fire off Clarity or something in that regard. This is also assuming you had the fate. It's just it's really weird setting up this line of play, because now it's just kind of creating this dynamic where you're burning cards for no reason.
Yeah. I guess, yeah. Oh, and then he throws another fan. We're both chasing this kind of like idiots, I feel like.
Absolutely. and I mean that like in the completely respectful, nice way. It's just like a big part of this game is learning when to chase and when not to chase.
For sure.
Like Drew burns 3 cards to win a fire ring.
Does get him the favor, so that's something.
Yeah, I mean Ujiaki's online if he flops Ujiaki, but you have Cloud the Mind.
Yeah,
You,
got 2.
you have 2 Cloud the Minds, so. So he's first to pitch. You see he keeps the Palace. Your first pitch. I would chuck Kudoka here because she's too expensive because you're going to the next turn with no fate.
Yeah. I always get nervous about pitching my last character in case my dynasty just fails on me. But
here's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, your goal is to find your powerhouse characters as soon as possible. Like, you want Ugina in this matchup. You want certain things. I'd be perfectly fine. Like, in this, Dreamer with 3 here is actually really good.
Yeah, but I lost my Embrace the Void. You just even think with it, even without it, it's okay?
I mean, he's not playing Assassinate. And that's a 3/3. That's a 3/3 for 3 turns.
I don't know that he's not playing Assassinate, though.
Lion can't play Assassinate.
Why not?
Too many cards require us to be more honorable.
Okay.
Like, it's a cheeky 1x in some decks, but I think it's incorrect to do.
If you have to gamble, it's safe to gamble that they don't have it.
Correct. What ring do you choose here with Dreamer?
I think I go water. Yeah.
Okay. So now, if we go back to the last turn, if you don't swing for that fire ring,
yep,
there are 3 rings with fate, which makes the choices a bit more spicy of what he's going to do. Especially if Drew does this and goes with a non-fated ring, that means you get 2 rings worth of fate. Because you can go water, fire, or water, air.
Right.
Like, your conflict hand, look at your conflict hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You have 9 cards that cost money.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why I feel like I should be running Embrace the Void.
Path the Man is fine.
That's true.
You can also, realistically, on turn 1, you could have just naked passed. You had the Shrine Maiden in hand, in your starting 4. You could have just naked passed and gone to 8 fate, because at most he was going to do is he was going to break 1, maybe 2 provinces.
Right.
Not defending's fine here. He burns the Legion.
And gets another spoils.
That's fine. I keep forgetting you're off Tadaka. Because if you were on Tadaka, you want him to just dump as many cards in his discard pile as possible.
Sure.
So, this still isn't bad. You scouted 2, he's only scouted 1. He's getting 1 break. He's burned 2 cards to do it. He's firing off the spoils, so, we're still good.
Yeah, even with the spoils, I've managed to stay up a card here.
Because he's spending cards. If you look at the discard piles, he's got 8, you've got 7, so...
Yeah.
I wouldn't have displayed.
To stop the Void Ring?
Yep. You burned away all of your fate to do that.
That's true, but I'm keeping one of these characters on board. If he gets rid of Dreamer, that's 2 fate worth of value, theoretically. But
you also just spent 2 fate.
Right.
Display is really good for big swing moments too. I guess that's fine. If that was a water conflict and you displayed it though, think of how good that would have been.
I think the real problem is that it left me broke.
Yep.
So I don't have Cloud online, or I can't play a Shrine Maiden if I feel like it. It severely limits my options to have done that.
That's kind of the key thing. You're running into meditations with 2 characters with fate.
Yeah, I am doing that after displaying to save a Void Ring.
That's if you let that Void Ring go through, he pulls it off 1 character, you can then send in the Dreamer and then Ningyo.
Yeah, that would have been much better as a line.
He doesn't have a lot of stuff that targets, which is fine because he doesn't have an LPB out, so it's fine to use your Yojimbo there.
What did I? Oh, I popped it on the meditations, right?
Yep, that's a fine line to do.
Yeah.
For shame to bow. Do you dishonor or bow here?
I think I bow and spend my money because I spend money like it's going out of style.
Right, but why do you need to spend the money?
Let's see, I'm at 5. I don't really need to.
You have a supernatural storm in him. Yep. Storming the Ningyo is fine.
Do you think that's better than playing the other Ningyo?
Oh, this is political. I thought this was military for some reason.
This is political, yeah.
I would have actually then dishonored the adept and court games the adept.
Yeah, I try and get in the habit of saving my court games for, bigger characters, but
I mean, bigger character? He's a 2/2 for 2. Like he turns into a 4/4 if you honor, and then you also have the Eth Dreamer in there. You can just dishonor the Eth Dreamer.
Dishonor the Eth Dreamer if he plays court games.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you get a 4/4 guy, and then you're at 7/7. Yeah, like I think I would have done that.
Mm-hmm.
So you end up winning anyway, which is fine. Watering, he's going to ready for battle. That's expected.
Yeah. Right. Okay. I spent.
Once again, you're spending money you don't need to spend. Like, so here's where I'm going to ask you to pause.
Yeah, sure.
You drop the money on the against the waves right here.
Yep.
He's got a political conflict left. You have clarity of purpose in hand.
So defend with Yojimbo is what you're saying?
Defend with Yojimbo, clarity, then counterswing.
Yeah.
Like, and then like that's the thing is like you're gonna stand this dude, which is fine, and he ends up getting honored. Did you spend the court games? I think you did spend.
I did spend the court games to honor him while he was bowed.
Yeah. I mean, so even if you don't defend with the Yojimbo, say he like runs into like upholding and you want him to break it or something, which is perfectly reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
You can then against the waves afterwards.
Yeah.
You can do it after the conflict.
Right. So. I don't really need him online to be blocking against what I see on board is a 1 strength character.
Right. So like if he runs into Shameful here, you defend with Yojimbo, which is fine.
Yeah.
If he runs into upholding, you want him to break it. If he runs into, he's not going to run into meditation. If he runs into manicured, you're going to gain a money. Like you want him to run into these things.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think. Oh, that's upholding. Okay, I was gonna say I think that's shameful, but it's upholding.
Yeah. So like this is just like no defend pass.
Right.
Like yeah, you're gonna get earth ringed, but now also keep in mind if you had the against waves in your hand still, that's 1 less chance to discard like one of your more crucial cards because you can always flash back against the waves. Can't flash back Bonsai, can't flash back Cloud, can't flash back Shrine Maid.
Yep. I'm trying to figure out what's putting him at 3. Is that dude's ability?
Yep, it's that dude's ability. If he's more honorable, he has +2 pull.
Oh, okay.
And also, I don't know why you're defending here.
Yeah, I should have just let him break this.
Because yes, it's interesting because he's on Line Splash. Yes, he has an ambusher.
Yeah.
You want him to. He's already spent 1 ambusher. If he spends another one, he only has 1 ambusher left in the deck.
Mm-hmm.
If he gets to Korimori and he can't fire off ambusher on Korimori, he should never break your box.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. It's kind of like saving Captive Audience for Unicorn, for saving it for Korimori.
Yeah. And now this kind of like all flashes back to the displaying the Void Ring. Like, this is all results of a line play. Like imagine if you had 2 more money right now.
Right. Yeah, I could have really comfortably defended and clarity'd.
Yep.
Yeah.
So All right, so upholding broke. You play the ambusher. You lose the consumed by 5 fires, which doesn't matter. Realistically, you're not going to fire off 5 fires against a line.
No.
Yep. Air is fine because you want the military, or because you want the money. And there is a non-trivial honor point right here that gaining 2 is pretty good.
And a charge Totori.
Okay, I will 100% let my opponent waste a charge on defense. You should be perfectly okay with it. Like this is this is a I'm going to pass. Like, okay, I'm done. You got me. Pass.
Sure.
Like, you don't throw more stuff at this. Because he's gonna fire off the shameful and honor Totori, and if probably dishonor Yojimbo would be my thought. Just because Yojimbo's gonna last longer than Adept. But here we go.
And the chase begins.
Yep, +2. So here's the other thing. Like, you're chasing militarily against Lion.
Yeah, it's a fool's errand.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a part of my brain that goes like, oh, well, he's spending these things on defense. That means he's not going to spend them to break me. But at the same time, I'm also spending lots of shit. It's kind of a mental fallacy.
So basically, you spent a storm and a bonsai. He spent away the line.
Right.
Like, that's 2 for 1. Like,
yeah, there's no way that I can trade efficiently into this fight.
Yeah, especially a tutorial. Like, you have to assume, like, looking at your opponent's hand, like, if your opponent has 8 cards, chances are he has away the line hand.
Right.
So, and he just blew a charge on defense. Like, this is money for you, because even if he gets a spirit caller, you're just gonna against the waves the spirit callers.
Mm-hmm.
So now your board position is much better than his.
Yeah.
He is at more honor, which is fine. You're at 8. You're both at 6 cards. He's only up by 1 fate. This is really when you should begin kind of like putting the screws on. Because here's the other thing, like, if it had just been 2 rings to 2 rings, like, favor stays neutral, so Kanjo's useless, so that's fine. Prodigy with 2 is probably okay. I would have probably done Suki with 1 and passed, just to get a bunch of money online.
Yeah.
LPB with 3, pass here, yep. So you go to 3, he's at 3. Slam that 5 button. There's dough. Yep. Lion is never not going to slam 5.
Yeah, I don't see why they wouldn't. He's managed to go up to 14 honor literally without trying.
Mm-hmm. Embrace is fine there. Your first player, money's on the fire ring. Fire ring is fine here because you actually want to try and re-honor Prodigy. He's got 1 good charge target in Suko.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going fire.
Dreamer on fire.
Oh,
nope.
If I was smart, I would have gone fire.
I mean, water's fine. Like, you have a fish in hand, and like having the watering claimed Prodigy online, which is fine. But I mean, like, in your hand, you have clarity against the waves, Prodigy naturally. Like, Prodigy's gonna be in 4 conflicts.
Yeah, if I spend my money just powering unbows or not bows, I don't need to worry about it.
Yep.
At some point, I'm going to want to spend a cloud on the brawler.
Not really.
No?
You have a Yojimbo.
Yeah, but the brawler can just punch the Yojimbo.
That's okay. Like, that's fine, because he's got to pump the brawler to do that.
Does brawler not work on ties?
No, brawler does work on ties, but brawler's 3 and Yojimbo's got a katana.
Yeah, but Yojimbo's dishonored.
Yeah, but if he's battling Yojimbo, he's not. I gotcha.
Sure. So, right. Yeah, Prodigy, Dreamer.
Yep. So you run into Mangarden. That's fine. Giving him a money, I think, is okay. You've seen fire, air, void, earth. Earth is on box, so which means his last one is water, which is Art of War, which is fine. You don't want to give him 3 cards. Yeah, so this is fine. Yep, military water's fine here. I would have done political, because if you look at your hand, you have clarity, you have 2 clarities, and you have a fan. That's more political pump than military pump.
Yeah. And if Yojimbo manages to stay up, she's literally useless in a pole swing, so.
Yeah. I mean, I also would have coverted the LPB, to be honest. Just because LPB does have more military stats than the Ambusher.
Yeah, I think what I was thinking here was if he blocks with the Brawler, that's basically a win for me, because then the Brawler bows.
He's not going to block with the Brawler.
Right, so if he's not going to block with the Brawler, I might as well covert the Ambusher, basically. And then I can Water Ring the Ambusher.
No, that's fair. It's a fair play line. Okay, so yeah, you get the break, which is fine.
Yeah.
Did you discard the face down card?
I did not.
Good. Smart man, keepers.
That is one thing I figured out.
So now here's the other thing. You're burning Prodigy's action to stand the Prodigy for no reason.
Interesting. Well, I mean, as opposed to using a spell or just leaving her bowed for now?
Just leaving her bowed for now. You have a 4/4 and you have a Yojimbo.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason, because say he swings in with Brawler and he does something to your Yojimbo and then just punches the Prodigy. The Prodigy can't stand.
Yeah, not without me spending money.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point. I can definitely just wait until the Brawler has done its thing.
Mm-hmm. So, military fire. He's going to go to dishonor the Prodigy. He's running into Mangarden, which gives you money. You clouded the LPB, which is fine, which means he can't bow. I would token defense with just the Yojimbo here.
Okay, that would, yeah, just to throw 2 in there.
Yep, because you're going to get a counterattack political. You can get a 3rd break here on the Shameful, because if he dishonors... So pause here.
Sure.
So if you token block with the Yojimbo,
yep,
he's going to dishonor your Prodigy. You can then swing into Shameful with the Prodigy and the Honored Adept. If he tries to activate Shameful,
mm-hmm.
it's just gonna go neutral. You're gonna make Prodigy and Adept neutral, which is fine. Obviously, if he has a conflict character, that kind of changes it up. But still, by doing this, by only token blocking with the Yojimbo, you're basically sacrificing the province to go to 3 breaks, which you're fine because you want him on Korimori. And then you'll be matching him on 3 breaks because you should be able to get the break on Shameful.
Yeah, for sure. I would definitely be able to break Shameful coming in, I think.
And your board state is going to be much better than his next turn, because next turn you're going to have the Prodigy, you're going to still have the Yojimbo, and then he'll only have an LPB.
Right.
So that's just thinking about crafting the next turn.
Right. No, because I'm thinking, I'm pretty sure what I was thinking here was I don't want him to be on my stronghold, which is maybe where the faulty part in my thinking is, because I'm not putting enough trust into Korimori being awesome.
Lion has 2 ways to break Korimori: Anakazu and Captive Audience. Unless they're on support of the Unicorn, they're not going to have access to Captive Audience, or they're going to be on 1 Captive Audience.
Uh-huh. Okay.
That's what you have to play around.
Right. And I've seen, I think, 2, I've seen at least 2 of the Ambushers.
Exactly.
So.
But he's not going to get first action because your first action is always KM.
True.
So, obviously you super heartily commit to the defense here.
Yeah.
You're not going to win this, but you might be able to save it because he's still got to get +7 to break, which is going to be a Legion of 1 in box.
Yeah.
One card in box has him break. And then he's also going to then be able to LPB and bow your Yojimbo. So you're going to be completely bowed out.
Yeah, Legion of One completely swamps this defense.
Yeah.
So I have no mill pumps in hand, even if I wanted to chase it.
Yep, exactly. This is just some of the stuff to think of.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, this is good stuff. All right.
And he has mill favor too.
Hand-to-hand with
Cloud is
Cloud.
fine.
Yeah.
Hand-to-hand reads, get rid of Cloud the Mine.
For sure, yeah. Hand-to-hand the Embrace.
Yep, okay. That's fine.
Yeah, keeps me from getting value out of that. Play another Cloud.
I wouldn't have done... no, never mind. You have the third Cloud in hand.
I do.
So that's fine. That Cloud reads Ujiaki.
Yeah. That makes sense. So what are the Cloud targets you care about in Lion? It's basically Brawler and Ujiaki, right?
It's mostly Ujiaki.
Well, yeah.
Brawler is okay. You have so many readies and clarities that it's like it doesn't really matter.
True.
Drew's throwing a 4-shame for...
Yeah, he 4-shames, I take the bow, and then I Yojimbo it.
That's fine.
And then there's the Legion.
Yep. And then he'll probably kick the Legion in box. To be fair, I also don't think Drew should have hand-to-handed the Embrace the Void.
Yeah.
Because giving you money at this point, yes, it's good, but it's also like hand-to-hand says Cloud the Mine. Like, that's what that card says.
Yeah, definitely.
Discard target, Cloud the Mine.
I don't want him to break so badly that I play a Shrine Maiden.
Right.
I'm feeling how big of a mistake this play was.
He still has a political conflict. He's got 4 months. Like, you're not gonna, like, unless you have Bonsai and like 2 storms, you're not gonna match a Lion on military.
Yeah.
Ever. Like, see, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
About like the chase.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you just let him get to your box with political, he's not gonna break it.
Right.
So now here's the counterpoint. Like, so say you don't play the Shrine Maiden here.
Sure.
And you just let him break.
Yep.
He still has charge available. Charge does nothing in the political conflict.
Right. And we both have political left, so.
Right. We see him drop the Anakazu out, which is fine. If you play the Shrine Maiden, you can then go in with your own political with like a fan and threaten the break on Shameful Display, which then forces him to play the Anakazu on defense and not offense.
Okay. Right, because he would have played that into the conflict probably to try and stop the break from me.
The break on Shameful from you. Yep. Because an honored Anakazu is ball.
For sure.
And now with the Fire Ring, he's gonna swing with this honored Anakazu on your box. And you are completely bowed out.
He sure is. I sure am.
Yep.
I think this was the first time that I saw Anakazu in play, and I was just like, what the fuck is this?
He's a... Yep. And so here's the other thing, like, the line has so much set home between strength and numbers and everything else.
Sure.
Like...
I mean, he's definitely not going to strengthen numbers me with one Anakazu.
Right. But he also still has 1 fate.
Yeah.
So he can drop, like, another guy into play, and then... Oh, no, he can't strengthen numbers then, because that costs some money. Okay. Why are you going into Art of War?
It's a great question. I want to say it's because I don't want to get dishonored, but...
Right, but it's political. You're going to get dishonored, you're going to go to 2, you just throw down a fan, and you're back up to 4 and breaking Shameful. He's not going to defend. Anakazu's not going to come in and wreck your face. Because you're going to, no matter what, you're going to break here, which turns Anakazu into an 8/8.
Yeah.
And this is when you notice it, because like Drew goes to defend. He's like, wait a second,
Yeah.
I'm 8.
Oh, yeah, I can just smash you with Anakazu now.
Yep.
Especially now that I'm going to feed him cards to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Not like I even really needs them, but like just in case.
Yeah. Where, I mean, realistically, even if you swung into the Shameful, Drew probably doesn't defend.
Yeah.
Because he's still getting the break off. But you might trick him into defending because he feels like he's got to defend the Shameful.
Well, at least I took a fate off of that Anakazu.
I mean, that doesn't matter if you die this turn.
Shh, shh. It's a consolation prize.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so he swings Earth. I defend with a whopping 0.
So, even if you cloud the Anakazu,
Mm-hmm.
he's still breaking. It's political. You can play the fan on the Yojimbo, which puts you to 2 and prevents you from breaking.
Yeah.
I don't think you're. I mean, I know you end up being dead here, but I also don't think you are dead. Like, you have no storms in the discard. So.
Yep.
So if you defend, you query it to. I mean, you don't even query here. I think you just play the fan. Puts you to 2 to 6, 4, 5. Yeah, no, he's still breaking.
Yeah, I think I just like mathed it out. I was like, I can do basically nothing. Yeah.
So I mean, this is just where it's just playing through the play lines and setting up like the following turns. Like, so it's fine to chase certain conflicts. Like, it's fine to chase the political conflicts against line because
yeah, right.
That super exhausts the resources. Like, you're never gonna win a military conflict as a line.
Yeah, yeah, that has become abundantly clear to me.
Unless you have like 4 Shugenja and your storms are read +4/+4.
Yeah.
That's what you need to beat, and that's what you need to beat it.
Right. It needs to be a situation where they don't care that I'm hitting them or that I have overwhelming storms, basically.
Mm-hmm. And even then, overwhelming storms aren't always good sometimes. I think the key thing is, like, this all goes down to like the turn 1 play of the Yojimbo, because Embrace the Void is your restricted card.
Yep.
You know you're probably going to see one. If you buy the Kudoka with 3 and then pass, you still have 1 fate. You embrace the Kudoka, and that starts getting your fate rolling, and then you have a Shugenja online, so you can then like swing Clarity, get another swing off.
Right. Yeah, because I had the Embrace, I ended up getting like Earthringed or something, so I definitely could have just played the Shugenja instead.
Yeah.
Embraced. Yeah, that makes sense.
My favorite turn 1 play in Phoenix is to mull everything away except for like Palace or Forgotten Library and look for a cheap shoot. You want like an Eth Dreamer, you want like a Suki, you want something cheap that you can just slap like 1 fate on, so you can try to go into the next turn banking between 3 to 5 fate.
Right.
Because the second turn is when you start like getting massive fate reserves and start being able. Because like that entire game, you never once threatened Consumed by 5 Fires.
No.
Which meant he could drop 3 fate on his LPB and not care.
And by threatened, you basically just mean have 5 fate sitting around.
Exactly. Like, even if a Phoenix player has 4 fate, I'm not going to start heavily fating my guys because I'm like, they can generate a fate from it.
Right. They grab it off a ring, or you hit Manicured, or whatever. Like, you're in the danger zone.
So.
All right, cool. Well, let's take a look at game 2.
Give me 1 second. I have a crying child. I'll be right back.
Yes, no worries. We'll be right back.